Welcome to this week's Chumbi Wong Dong. I've been asked by one of my students to do an absolute beginner guide to push-ups and sit-ups. This week I'm going to do push-ups, next week I will do sit-ups. So for push-ups, I'd like to digress slightly and give you a quick story about the 4 stages of learning. Now this can be applied to anything. I'll just use driving as an example. Before you learn to drive, you think that it is easy, okay? You don't know how hard driving is. So this is phase 1. This is subconscious incompetence. You don't know that you can't do it. And then when you first get into a car and start driving, you then have conscious incompetence. You now know that you can't do it, and obviously you're very frustrated. Then you take a few driving lessons, you start driving around, and you are driving, but it's very, very difficult and you need to concentrate all the time. This is conscious competence. You're doing it, but it is very difficult and it takes all your concentration. And then the final stage, which most of you who have been driving for a while are in, is unconscious competence. You are so good at this skill, you don't even know you're driving. You don't know you're changing gears, you don't know you're lifting your foot, clutch control, all these things, it is automatic. So please remember that this is for push-ups as well. You might walk into a martial arts class where everyone in the class is doing push-ups and you're like, I have to be able to do this. And then you start doing it and you can't do it. And it takes a while. So please, with all learning of new skills, please have this mindset of like, we're all element 1 at one point, 2, 3, and if we work on it long enough, element 4. So to begin with, I want you to stand against a wall. Now you're going to stand a foot away from the wall and put your arms out straight. Now you will all be able to bend your arms wide and then push back up. Everyone will be able to do this because you put no gravity on your body and you're just standing up like you normally do. The reason we do this is because you want to learn to have your back straight and good posture, and also your arms wide. Often when I see students start with push-ups, their arms are very narrow and they're using too much of their tricep and they don't have the arm strength yet. You can do narrow push-ups, they're great, but they're a lot harder than normal push-ups because for normal push-ups you're using more of your chest and this is a bigger muscle group, okay? So make sure your arms are wide, and as your arms go back, your elbows go back. Now, everyone will be able to do 10 of those, easy. Let's make it a little bit harder now. Let's take your feet another foot back and then keep the weight underneath your shoulders in line with your chest. This, for absolute beginners, might be slightly challenging. So my advice is, when you can do 3 sets of 10 quite easily, you're ready to move on. Now, here in the dojang, the only item I have is a desk, but you can always use something higher. Again, you stand away from the desk so your feet and your head are in one line. I can't stress this enough, okay? There should be no bend in the waist, no bend in the back. And then you do the push-ups. Again, you need to be able to do 10 all the way down till your chest barely touches the desk, and then back up. Again, once you do three sets of 10 quite easily, you're ready to move on here. Again, in the dojang, I have this bench. This for you, if you're a total novice to push-ups, should be quite difficult. And you do 3 sets of 10 push-ups on the bench. So you're gradually adding more gravity at an angle until you're on the floor doing regular push-ups. And again, you can always drop your knees as long as your back is straight. So I hope this has helped you to progress to push-ups, and know that for every single exercise there are elements. Again, push-ups might be simple for you, okay? Great. But for a lot of people starting who've never used their upper body strength like this before, it's very difficult. So just remember that everyone was in the same position as you, and always build slowly. 3 sets of 10 and then make it more challenging, so 3 sets of 10 becomes difficult. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks very much for watching. Tang Soo.